Okay, let's have a little look at solving equations, okay? So I'm going to do a couple of different types, as you'll notice. First type is right at the very top, where we've got our x's on one side and then only numbers on the other side, okay? So we are going to use this method where we change signs and change sides, okay? So we're going to do the opposite of taking away 3. We're going to move that minus 3 over the other side. Now when I do that, it becomes the opposite, so it turns into a plus 3, okay? Then we're going to work that out. 21 plus 3 is going to give me 24. Now hopefully we remember when we've got two things next to each other in algebra, that does mean times. So doing the opposite of timesing would be dividing. So we're thinking about how many 8s actually go into 24, and that does go in nicely, it does go in 3 times. So my final answer would be x is equal to 3. Okay, and that one is now solved. Next one then. Now, a bit like BODMAS, we've got brackets involved, and with BODMAS, hopefully we remember that it means we have to do our brackets first, okay? So we're going to multiply everything on the outside of the bracket by everything on the inside of the bracket. So we are going to do 4 multiplied by 3, that gives me 12n. Then we're going to multiply 4 by 7, so that gives me 28, and it's equal to 16, okay? Next thing then, same process as the first question. We're going to move our plus 28 across to the other side in order for our numbers to be together. So 16 is staying where it is, I'm not moving that at all. And plus 28 will turn to the opposite, which is going to turn to a negative 28, okay? So we've got 12n, and then we're equal to, now don't be frightened, you are going to get a negative answer, okay? So 16 take away 28, so that means I'm starting on my number line, I'm on 16, and then I'm going down 28, okay? So think about that logically, what am I going to be doing? So I'm on 16, if I take away 16 from that, I'm still left with 0, and then I need to go down even more, so what would I be left with? We would be left with negative 12, taking those two away from each other, and then don't forget at the very end, we're thinking about 12n, that means multiplied at the moment, we're doing the opposite. I'm just going to go into this box. So we're doing minus 12 divided by 12, and that does give us minus 1, okay? 12 goes into 12 once, and I've only got one negative and one positive. That makes a negative symbol altogether, okay? So n is equal to minus 1. Third one then. Now this is probably the hardest type on this particular page. I've got brackets and also I've got x's on both sides as well, okay? Now like with BODMAS, we're going to deal with this brackets part first. They are the most important bit at the moment. So we're going to multiply everything on the outside by everything on the inside. So we're going to do 4 times x, that gives me 4x. Then I'm going to multiply 4 by 2, so that gives me 8. Now my right hand side, that's the 6x plus 4, is going to remain exactly the same for the moment because I haven't done anything to it and there are no brackets there for me to sort out. So that would be our first mark. Now we need to think about collecting our x's on one side and our numbers on the other side. Now this is either the method you've been taught in school. For example, I know with my classes I've taught them to take the x's to the left hand side and the numbers to the right hand side, and we do that every single time. If you have your own method, that's totally fine. There are slightly different ways of doing it. This is just my method. So I would leave the 4x where it is, and I would then move my plus 6x across to the other side. It would turn into a minus. I would leave my 4 where it is, and I would move then my plus 8 across to the other side. That would turn to a negative 8, collecting my x's on my left hand side and my numbers on my right hand side. Now I'm going to sort this out a little bit. I'm going to simplify it. So 4x on my number line, taking away 6, that leaves me with minus 2x. Don't be frightened of negatives. Then we're going to think about 4 take away 8, that leaves me with minus 4. Again, we're going to do exactly the same process now, even though we have negatives. At the moment, this term means multiplied. Opposite of that would mean we're going to divide. So we've got minus 4, and we're dividing it by minus 2. Okay, so do our numbers first. 4 divided by 2, so that gives me 2. Then we're going to think about our positives and negatives. So 2 minuses make a plus. So you can put plus 2 if you want to, or if you just want to leave it as 2 on its own, so x is equal to 2. Okay, last one on this page then is a worded question, or more a sort of real life application question. which we are going to have a look at together. So it says the perimeter of this triangle is 39 centimetres. Find the value of t. Now we've got to think back. We're combining lots of different skills. This would be like a numeracy based question, combining lots of skills in one question. So perimeter is talking about the outside of a shape, the distance around the outside of a shape. If I had numbers on this triangle, I would be adding all my numbers together in order to find the perimeter. So I'm going to do the same even though I have algebra. Okay, so we're basically going to list everything out. So I've got t plus 3, t minus 1 and t plus 4. I'm going to add everything together and they are telling me that is equal to 39. Okay, now this long line of algebra is exactly like we did on the collecting like terms questions. Okay, we had a list of algebra like this where we collected everything together. So that is what we are going to do now. Okay, we're going to think about t, t and t. So it means I have 3t altogether. Then plus 3 minus 1. So that's going to give me 2. And then add 4. So 2 plus 4 is going to give me 6. Okay, and that is still equal to 39. That 39 hasn't gone anywhere at the moment. Okay, now we're going to do exactly the same. We're going to take out plus 6 across to the other side and it goes to the opposite, so it becomes a negative. So 39 take away 6. Then we're going to sort that out a little bit. So we've got 3t is equal to 39 take away 6 is going to leave me with 33. Then basically we're thinking about how many 3's now are going to fit into this 33. We're going to divide. So we're going to do 33 divided by 3 and that does go nicely. It goes in 11 times. Okay, so focusing back on this diagram, find the value of t, make sure we've answered the question. So t would be equal to 11.